two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas.
Let's roll. This is Sports Rage. I am Gabriel Morency. The pitch, the players, the hustlers, the people, the bust them, and everybody else in between. The Friday Night Freak Show has begun. SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM Channel 159. We're in the heat of the moment, Asia style. Let's do this thing. Stanley Cup Finals, living up to the hype. It's been an epic series, high-level hockey. Unfortunately, the officiating isn't meeting the quality of play on the ice. Some really, really strange and bad calls going on in tonight's hockey game. And one would have thought, and this is why you can't assume anything in life and in sports, one would have assumed that the more power plays and the more special teams play that was involved in this series would be an advantage for the Edmonton Oilers. You know, the Edmonton Oilers won game one, but their power play really wasn't that good. And, you know, I think they scored a power play goal earlier tonight. They did. But they've had numerous power plays, and they really haven't looked all that great on the power play. And in fact, the Florida Panthers scored a shorthanded goal. So the special teams edge that we thought that could be there with this lethal Oiler power play hasn't been there. All right, the Panthers are really, really good at killing penalties, and the Panthers just aren't giving up. Like every time it looks like, man, the Oilers, if they score the next goal, they can, really, really take control. Florida scores, and speaking of penalties, here's another one. Here's another penalty. It's one after another. The referee, the players aren't out of control either. This is the thing. Like, a lot of times you see in the NBA, some of these referees, they want to be on TV, right? In football, they want to be part of the game. NHL referees are the best in the business. They're the best officials out of all the four professional sports. And this crew tonight, though, it was almost like, I'm doing a Stanley Cup game and I'm going to let people know that I'm the one in charge here tonight. But I don't really think that's the case because I don't think the referees have that much power. Is it the league? Does the league want these high-scoring games? Do they like this crazy power play stuff? But the Oilers just took a penalty after their goalie got Skinner got slashed by Greer. I thought they were going to call it. Like, it was like, all right, there's a penalty. He clearly hit the goalie late. Like, he had the puck. The Panthers are a pretty dirty team. They've been chipping at Skinner after the whistle all the time. Hell, Bennett tried to kill him earlier. But But Greer hit him, and Perry ends up getting the penalty for hitting him back after the retaliation. But they just did like a quick makeup call, and they just called a penalty on the Panthers now. So it's hard to keep up with all the penalties. So they're going to be 4-on-4 for 30 seconds or whatever it is. They're 4-on-4 right now for 22 seconds. But as I stated, this is another thing that surprises me. I thought that, hey, if you're the Edmonton Oilers, you're the fastest team in the National Hockey League. All right? Like, you're much faster than the Florida Panthers are. The Panthers are great, but you're faster than they are. And 4-on-4, there's a lot of open space. So you figure, man, 4-on-4 would be a big advantage. You'd be like, yeah, you know what? The Oilers would like it to be 4-on-4. They haven't scored a 4-on-4 goal here. Like, they really haven't. So as I stated, the advantages that you think are there, they're not. Right? So it's 4-3 for the Florida Panthers. We got like 20 seconds left. We're going to be rocking and rolling throughout the third period like we did in game one, and it should set up the same way throughout the plus and the finals. We're going to be on pretty much every Stanley Cup final game. NBA Finals, there's a game on this weekend. I guess there's a game next weekend in the National Hockey League, but for the most part, we're on every NHL game during the late second period into the third periods of play. And we've been pretty good at finding winners in game along the way. All right, we're going into the dressing rooms after 40 minutes of play after Brad Marchand scored the go-ahead goal on a breakaway, shorthanded, his parents in the house. So it's 4-3 for the Panthers. This is deja vu all over again, right? Except the other night it was 3-2. So it was 3-2 after 2 periods of play, and we were already on the Oilers, like I'm on the Oilers tonight. And we went big on the Oilers tonight, like we went big on the Oilers in game one. This is a big game for the Oilers. Every game is obviously massive, right? It's the Stanley Cup Finals. But you really want to hold serve here before you go back to Florida. You make it one, if you split, okay, then your mission becomes a split on the road, and then, okay, you're in a best of 2 or 3 suddenly. It's not the ideal situation you want to be in if you're the Oilers, right? You win tonight, you go on the road, you get a split, you're up 3-1. And then you got 3 freaking cracks at bringing the Stanley Cup home. But we saw the same thing the other night, and the Oilers were like plus 195. They were down by a goal after the first period of play. It was plus 195, and I thought that the Oilers were a good play. I still think the Oilers can win this hockey game. And you know what? I'm getting a feeling that overtime could be in the cards once again for us. We talked about it the other night about, when we left it on the table, what were the odds? And full disclosure, I already bet it at plus 240 about 10 minutes ago. About 10, 15 minutes before showtime. I think it was about 9:45 Eastern time. And I was like, this game's probably going to go to overtime. And I can't lie. Right after I bet it, the Panthers scored to break the tie. Yeah, and it probably wasn't going to stay tied the whole time. And so I got it at plus 240. Will match go to overtime? Yes, plus 240. It's currently plus 230 right now. So it's pretty much the same number. So I can't say, I got a bad number here, because we could totally see Edmonton tying this game, and then we're right back where we started. Right? We're going to be tied at 4. Next goal is pretty critical, though, in this hockey game. So the number is the Florida Panthers to win the game is now minus 230. Edmonton Oilers to win the game is plus 180. Total, 9.5. And I got a piece of 9.5s here, and you can get plus money on the 9.5 right now. Over 9.5 is plus 120. Under 9.5 is minus 150. Panthers minus a goal and a half, which is an interesting bet, right? If you think the Panthers are going to win the game, they're already up 4-3 right now. They could make it 5-3, and then the Oilers are going to pull the goalie, and you could end up winning the game 6-3 or 6-4 or something like that. So you are getting plus money if you think the Panthers are going to pull away in this game. It's plus 155, and the Edmonton Oilers getting a goal and a half right now is minus 190, which really isn't bad parlay material, is it? I think it's going to go to overtime. Maybe it's wishful thinking because we want drama, but I don't really want drama. If I wanted drama, I'd watch Models Inc. I don't want drama. I want the Edmonton Oilers to nail this down. All right, so we got a full house tonight. George Kurtz is batting leadoff, actually. So we'll watch the third period with Kurtz. Lou, Gamblu.com steps up and in. And Lou is a big hockey bettor. But, of course, Lou's his bread and butter is MMA, UFC 316 from Newark at the Prudential Center. So we'll talk about the main card and see if Lou likes anything on the prelims. Rob Vino in the house. You know, we always love talking with Rob Vino. We'll talk CFL football with Rob. We've got the second game of the year going on right now as we speak as well. Obviously, the Stanley Cup Finals take center stage, but the Toronto Argonauts are struggling tonight against the Montreal Alouettes, and I got suckered in by the point spread late in this game. The fact that it went up to 6.5, I thought it was just a little bit high. It's 22-10 right now for the Montreal Alouettes. There's about 10 minutes left in this game. They've been dominant all night. All right, they've been leading the game all night. The Argonauts just scored a touchdown. So, hey, you know, the CFL can stand for a lot of things. Canadian Football League, Chronic Football League, Crazy Football League. So, you know what? The game isn't over yet, and the Friday Night Freak Show is just beginning. Let's roll.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Let's do this thing. The Friday Night Freak Show. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. The pits, the players, the hustlers, the people, the bust them, and everybody else in between. You know how we do. We're going to roll through everything tonight. We've got NHL hockey, NBA finals, some live Major League Baseball in-game action, UFC 316, CFL football. I'll be going to the BC Lions in the Edmonton Elk game tomorrow. Snoop Dogg doing a concert before the game. So I get a 2-for-1 special, Snoop Dogg and a football game tomorrow. That's the good news. The bad news is I'm going to be inside the stadium for like 7 hours or something like that. And it means it's going to cost a lot of money, and I'm going to probably consume a lot of drinks tomorrow evening at the football game. UFL playoffs, too. We're down to the Final Four in the UFL. That's on Sunday afternoon. You got the Canadian Open golf going on, French Open tennis, College Baseball World Series, Belmont, at Saratoga. I can go on and on. And we'll dip our beaks in everything, and we'll try to get picks and break it all down. We're at the intermission right now, getting ready for the third period of play. I just want to break something up. As people tune into the show know, I've become a Whitecap fan over the years, and diehard. I've gone to like 6-7 games this year already, and they made it all the way to the CONCACAF Cup Champions League, and they lost 5-0 this past Sunday. And they've only lost one game all year in MLS. And it's not like, Cruz Azul are that much better than them or anything. And I said at the time, I said, I don't know, man. It looks like they've been drugged. And they're running in slow motion or something. I said, they look like literally they've been drugged. That was my comment on X about 10 minutes into the game. And it turns out there are accusations right now that the Vancouver Whitecaps were actually poisoned deliberately in Mexico City. Now, it's hard to prove something like this, but it's 2 years in a row right now that a team has gone to Mexico City and gotten violently ill. And you don't just get sick going to Mexico, people. I'm sure a ton of you have been to Mexico before, didn't get sick, all right? I have, and I didn't get sick. And the Vancouver Whitecaps, brought their own food. They brought their own cook. They brought their own water. They brought their own Gatorade. They didn't take anything to chance to begin with. And they're so violently ill, I don't think they can play their MLS game on Sunday. And it's so serious for people. Oh, yeah, I'm sure they lost 5-0. It's so serious that the health and infectious disease people actually have looked at all the players because they're freaked out about did they bring something back? Is it going to spread? And it turned out that, there's a lot of them. There's 9 of them that are violently ill right now. So long story short, I was right about, something had to be wrong. Number 2, I want my money back from the sports book. I want my money back. Now, it might be 6 days later, but this is the problem. No matter what happens in something like this after the fact, I literally once went 12-0 at a UFC card. It's documented. People were there. We were live in Vegas. We went to the event. I did a show before the show and stuff like that. And I gave a pick for all 12 fights. And I went 12-0. I went 11-0. I lost one fight. And the fight that I lost got overturned about an hour after the event ended. And they said, we got it wrong. This guy was on drugs. The other guy actually won. And I had a 12-team fight parlay that I would have won. I still bet all the fights and stuff, but something you don't forget, right? It's once whatever's final is final in sports betting. Unless these sports books, you do something stupid like bet on Mitch Trubisky to win the MVP, then they'll give you your money back for whatever reason. But if you legitimately get reamed like I have, you don't get your money back. It's a cold, cold world. All right, so we're at the intermission right now, but the third period is going to be coming up in a couple of minutes. George Kurtz steps up and in. George, 4-3 right now. It's almost deja vu all over again, actually, at least from my perspective. I thought the Oilers were going to come back and win in game 1 after 2 periods of play. They were down by 1 goal, and they were plus 190. They're currently plus 180 right now. So it's the same type of situation here. I don't think they're rattled that they're down a goal. It's been a wild game. I think this game's going to overtime, Kurtz, and it's plus 230 right now. I already bet it at plus 240, but that's my hot take. This game will go to overtime again.
I think the Oilers are going to win it in regulation. All right. I think they're going to get their 2 goals in the third period and pull this out here. So I'm with you. I think the Oilers are going to come back. I want to wait a little bit before I take the plus 180, see if I can go a minute, maybe 2 minutes into the third period and get a better price. So I'm thinking about waiting there. But I'm going to take the Oilers to come back as well. I'm on the Oilers pregame as well, so I'll be double dipping here. But you said it. The Oilers don't care that they're down. They've been down so many times during this playoff run here. It doesn't bother them. They're not going to be rattled here. I think they'll get it back here. You mentioned to me during the break how the refereeing has been interesting, shall we say. So I think that's going to play a part of it as well. They are calling penalties tonight, probably more than I'd like to see here. Although the third period, I'd probably see a few more on Florida. The last one burned the Oilers as they gave that short-handed goal to Brad Marchand.
Well, clearly there's a league objective because NHL referees, they're not calling the shots. They're not powerful enough to say, I'm gonna this is how the Stanley Cup final is gonna go. So clearly, all right, so why though? Did the league, you know what I mean? Does the league want a bunch of goals? Do they think that the power plays are going to lead to high scoring games? Do they think it's an advantage for Florida? Or what is the motive to it? I don't really, I don't have any evidence, George, or I don't think there's been blatant enough calls for one side or the other. Like, I'm not sitting here telling you I think the Oilers are getting screwed by the refs or that the Panthers are getting screwed, but I will say this, and I stand by it. The Panthers seem to get away with a lot more than the Oilers do, George. Like, how many times are you going to miss things on Bennett, bro? Like, he's in the middle of the action. Like, you saw he deliberately fell on the goalie. Let's just call it out for what it is. He did it on purpose. He already took one goalie out and stole ours earlier in the playoffs. George, on their goal, bro, you're not allowed kicking the stick. You can move the stick if it's in your way, like you have the puck type deal. If the opponent drops the stick, you can't, kick the stick as he's trying to bend down to pick it up. How does he get away with that? And how do the refs not see that? It's constant.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
The Friday Night Free Show continues. I am Gabriel Morency. So we have a rematch, obviously, from last year's Stanley Cup Finals, and it went 7 games last year, but this is a better series. There were one-sided games last year. There were a lot of blowouts and stuff, but it was very NBA-like. I kill you, you kill me, I kill you, you kill me, and hey, let's play game 7 at the end and see what happens, right? And it sort of balanced out like that. It wasn't, the games weren't great, right? But the series ended up being 7. That's why, like, sometimes, like, a close football game doesn't mean it's a classic. It could be a bad game, but it happens to go to overtime or something just because they both suck, right? But this series, this has been, like, high-level hockey. Like, this is like the old days. I mean, this is like the Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier days and stuff like that, where the games were 4-3 after 2 periods and 5-4, and it's just super, super quick and fast. Like, the level of the play is so quickly. And similar to basketball, guys, hockey and basketball, they're different, but they're similar in a lot of ways as well. And they're both games of runs in a way, George. You know what I mean? Like, you see Edmonton sort of flies around for 10 minutes, and then Florida takes over for 10, 15 minutes, and then Edmonton goes on a run. Now, third period, they just dropped the puck. It's Edmonton's turn, like a boxer, George. It's Edmonton's turn to, like, win the round. Come out, score first, win the round. And, I said in the opening monologue of the show, George, the big surprise to me so far in this series is the lack of productivity from the Edmonton Oilers special teams and power play. You would think all these penalties and all this 4-on-4 play and stuff would lead to goals for the Oilers. It hasn't. They did score 1 power play goal. They're 1 for 6 in the series now. And they gave up a shorthanded goal, the go-ahead goal tonight. Special teams has been a problem. They're on the power play right now as we speak. We'll see what they can do in the last 30 seconds at a PP here.
Yeah, so if they can get out of this without scoring here, I'll get a better price than the -180, and I'll take that immediately after that power play is over here. I think you said it's correct. I mean, listen, maybe the Florida penalty kill is that good. They're playing well here. That play by McDavid gave the assist to Draisaitl. Oh, my God. Goes right around Barkov, does the toe pick against, I don't know who the defensive was, and then still has the vision to see. I know he knows that Draisaitl's there. All right, because that's where Draisaitl's office is, like where Ovechkin's on the other side playing for the Capitals. But just to see that and a perfect pass, an easy goal, that's top level hockey. It's just wow. That was a wow play for me. It's been a fun series. Usually, you and I talking during the break, right? A lot of Stanley Cup finals are kind of dull. We have bets on them, but I'm not really paying attention to them. This series I've been watching because it's been fun. It's been exciting here. It's a shame it's not doing well ratings-wise because I guess you don't have, a New York team or, a top of Colorado, a drawing team. Because this has been a great first 2 games here. Absolute fantastic. It's been a lot of fun. Florida and Carolina might have been the most boring series I've ever seen, but Florida, Edmonton, maybe the exact opposite.
And this is why, if anybody thinks that people are crazy when they bring up that the league doesn't like Canadian teams going far in the playoffs, they just don't. Like, it's reality. They lose 50% of their market, right? They lose 50% of their Nielsen ratings. The Canada TV ratings don't count in the United States. Like, they're separate. So the network really takes it on the chin. Because let's be real, not that many cities that aren't playing in the Stanley Cup are watching in America right now. There's like 10, 15 sort of hardcore hockey markets that always watch, George. Buffalo, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Las Vegas, surprisingly enough, has a pretty good TV base, actually. When you see the ratings, even when the Knights aren't playing, it's like, wow, it always impresses me. Like, wow, a lot of people in Vegas are actually watching hockey. But so you lose like a big-time city, George, like you said. You get Boston in the playoffs, you're automatically getting like 500,000 people added to your number here watching. You know what I'm saying? 1 million people or whatever. All the bars and everything. You get Edmonton, that does ABC, ESPN no good at all, or TNT.
TNT tonight, right? And Florida, let's face it, the Miami market,
they're not a hockey like either. They barely have any fans, George, right? Like, exactly.
What was that great line? Did you see the line by Kachuk the other day? And this was years ago. It's he's been some kind of, what do you do for a living? I play hockey. Oh, you can't be very good if you're playing here. Wow, that's funny. That was great. Yeah. Listen, if the Rangers would have been in it, a New York team, it'd be fine. Boston, fine. But Edmonton, Florida, no, this is not what the NHL wanted.
And it's interesting. The NBA, you know what? We'll look at the ratings for the NBA because the NBA got it even worse. They got Oklahoma City and Indiana, right? And the NBA is such a star-driven big league.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
The Friday Night Free Show continues. This is SportsRage. Little under 15 minutes remaining in the hockey game. We're in the third period right now, 14:56 left. A lot of extracurricular stuff going on after every play. And, they're going back and forth here, a little bit of a face rake. And the refs have been calling a million penalties, but it hasn't helped the Edmonton Oilers. Their power play, 1 for 6 in the series. They don't really get that many shots on goal either. There's been a few, they got the highlight reel goal there with Draisaitl earlier. But for the most part, their power play has struggled. They're having a hard time getting pucks through. We've talked about this. The Panthers, probably the best team at it. It's not just blocking shots, because they're not all diving and blocking shots. They're just all positioned in the right place all the time. They're so good on a penalty kill. They take up a ton of space. You don't so you don't have the puck for long. You know what I mean? You pass it, but you got to pass it right away because they're in your face. And the Oilers can't seem to adjust to it, which is kind of strange with all the talent that they have. But let's give the edge to the Panthers there. This third period is sort of moving on right now. I noticed the Oilers, I can sort of feel their tension a little bit right now, George. You can just sort of tell. They're trying to get a little bit too cute at times. If I was Knobloch on the bench, I'd remind them, just, dump it in, boys. Just dump it in. Get the puck at the net, right? They're like that. Bouchard just sort of slung one at the net quickly like that. It's, they're the one-timers and all this. They're cute, and they're fun and all that. They're nice highlights, but just flick the puck at the freaking net if you're the Oilers, George. Stop trying to get too cute here.
As usual, you're way ahead of me. I just saw the Bouchard flip at the net, by the way. Just saw it. You're a good 15, 20 seconds ahead of me here. So is what it is there. I agree, but it's hard to tell super talented players that, right? I think you can tell the third and fourth liners, of course, that, but the McDavid's, he's going to try and make his plays. He's just going to do that. Same thing with Draisaitl. I think it's a little tougher to tell your superstars, guys who can go around people, guys who can do the dipsy doodle and make the highlight plays. As much as I agree with that, I think it's a little tougher to get those players to shoot the puck on a, get the puck, shoot the puck. In some ways, play Carolina Hurricanes hockey. Get puck, shoot puck, crash the net, screen the goalie, look for those rebounds there. So I think it's a little tough for the Oilers to change their style of play here, at least with the superstars on the team anyway.
One thing that's cliche, you often hear people talk about, this guy's making himself a lot of money, right? Or this person's costing themselves money. Sam Darnold was a good example. Right, you look at the 2 terrible football games that he had to end the season last year. didn't cost him anything. The guy just made a ton of money, and so people throw it around there all the time. But on the other side of this, Brad Marchand really is making himself a lot of money right now. Like, people wondered, like, there was question marks that he made Team Canada for the Four Nations. They thought that there was others that were more worthy, younger players that were more worthy of him. And he held his own. He played on the fourth line. He didn't really play much. And it was sort of a lot of thought was, well, he won't be on the Olympic team. But, you know what I mean? This is sort of his last hurrah here with Team Canada. And then the Boston Bruins trade him. No one really thought much of it. Right? I mean, there's a lot of teams that could have made the move. They didn't. The Panthers did. And not only is he play that physical style and playoff style hockey, he's skilled. He's scoring goals now, too. He's actually gotten more skilled with age. He still has another, 2-3 years left of pretty high level hockey, I believe, George. And he's a free agent, and he's a winner. And he's exactly the type of team, championship caliber teams that are right knocking on the door. He's going to have a lot of people calling him, and that breakaway goal, there's another 500,000 a year. Like, it just keeps going up and up, man. The better he plays, the more teams are going to want him, and the more money he's going to make. And he's going to have a choice, George, of where he's going to want to go, because there's going to be like a good half a dozen teams are going to make him a good offer.
Oh, I would agree. I'm just looking at his contract. He's only coming off making $6 million a year. 8 years, $49 million. So he signed it 8 years ago for a contract that exploded a little bit. So he was only making $6 million a year. I think he makes at least that. I think he'll get a 3-year deal because of what you're talking about. He'll have many suitors here. I could see 321 somewhere in that 320. 3 years, $20 million. So he'll make more of an AAV in his late 30s. He's 37 years old. He'll make more AAV now than he did during his prime here. He hadn't scored more than 70 points in 4 of his last 5 years. He's under that total here, but it's his style of play. It's what he brings in. And he also proved he can go to a new team and bring that with him. All right. And he's still that player, that annoying player. So I agree with you. I think I'm still going that he goes back to Boston, but he will have plenty of offers here. I think the Colorados are going to be interested. The Torontos, Florida would certainly like him back if they can afford him here. I do think it has to be a team that's ready to win now, though. I don't see him going to the Islanders. Love to have him, but
no,
serves no point there. They're not going to win anyway.
No, at his stage, and like I said, I don't think he's going to go to a good team, right? But not a team. It doesn't have to be a team that's already won before, right? We talked about it. Like, the Leafs haven't won, but he could say, you know what? All right, they want to pay me if he thinks this would be cool to actually try to win with the Leafs. But Colorado's not a bad. That's not a bad one, actually.
How about the
Just
Rangers?
because he is buddies with Nate McKinnon. He's from the same part of Canada. They're from the same small little area, and same as Crosby.
I don't think they could afford him. I don't think they could afford him, especially if they want to be players for somebody else. But he'd be good for that team. The Rangers had a culture problem, right? A lot of locker room issues there with what's going on with Zibanejad, what's going on with Kreider. That would be interesting. I don't see it, mind you. I don't think they can afford him either. But I think that
he's
would be
smart enough
to try and make a move.
I think he'd be smart enough not to want to be part of that with the Rangers. They're not quite the Knicks, but they're not quite the Knicks. Because one thing is, like, before, players didn't really want to play for the Knicks because of Dolan. And I always, people always blame Dolan all the time for that, right? Like, oh, NBA players don't want to play for Dolan. But I always found it fascinating. I was like, well, NHL players all want to play for the Rangers. I'm not going to say every one of them, but no one's upset when they get drafted by the Rangers, or Ranger players are happy, but they're different. They don't practice in Manhattan, right? They're in Westchester. And I guess the Ranger players aren't bothered by it. The Knick players are. Because I had a Knick player tell me, actually, he goes, it's not Dolan. He goes, and he told me, he goes, players don't care who the owner is. The check clears anyways. He goes, the media cares about who the owner is. The players don't care. And he told me the Knicks' problem is if you play for the Knicks, you're actually never really in New York much. He said, because you got the practice facility, you're traveling all the time. He said, the only time I ever really see Manhattan is when I play a game at MSG, and then I go home again after. So, and he was talking about that's one of the reasons. But, the Knicks just fired their coach, George, even though they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. The Rangers fire people all the time, too. It's kind of an unstable situation going there. I'm just saying I don't think he would want to go there.
No, it wouldn't be one of my top three. I just think his kind of attitude might be a way to shake up that locker room. What the problems they were having there. They did hire Sullivan to be the new coach there. So I'm trying to find that perfect fit. You know, I guess Florida would be that perfect fit. I just don't think they can afford him and keep him there. So I think he has to go there. But the point is this: I think he's going to make more money now as far as AAV than he was making during the contract year because he's going to get a 3-year offer. He might get a 4-year deal if someone really wants to close the deal and keep him away from somebody else. Like I said, I think Colorado, maybe Dallas. Maybe they need someone a little shake up there after firing the coach today. Would that be kind of interesting? Vegas, does he want to go out west? I don't know. Maybe he wants to stay in the Eastern Conference here. I mentioned Boston, Florida, Toronto. I think would make a lot of sense as well. It'd be such a great, delicious storyline if he were to go sign with the Maple Leafs. That'd be funny.
Hell, he'd be good on the Edmonton Oilers too, but they're running out of money. The Oilers, the Dodgers, George, and the Cardinals were delayed, so they're playing a little bit later now. 2-0 for the Cardinals right now. The game's cruising along though, middle of the 5th inning. The Rockies are hanging on right now, 1-0 over the Mets. What do you think about the end game here? Mets plus 105 right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go in on them. I'm on the Mets pregame anyway, so I'm going to double down on it. They're not. This team just doesn't lose, right? So give me the Mets here. They'll come back. I'll take the plus 105 gladly.
All right, George, we'll catch up with you on Monday, actually, and it'll be game 3 on Monday night. Then there's a little bit of a layoff with the NHL, but between the NBA and the NHL, they didn't want to go head-to-head, so it's pretty cool along the way. Thanks, George.
Anytime.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
For whom the bell tolls for thee. This is SportsRage. The bell just tolled. We just passed the 10-minute mark of the third period, in which now it sort of starts to get a little bit realer. It's like a football game. You notice how that clock looks to start to tick a little bit faster when you hit that 6-7 minute mark. It's like tick, 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 tick. Right? Same thing in hockey. Now suddenly the clock starts to, move pretty quickly if you're trailing. Edmonton are getting chances, but they're not, I'm not going to say they're not finishing them, but They're not great chances. They're, I think they need to dig down a little bit deeper here, right? I think they're just sort of flying around and passing the puck around. It's time to dig in, dump the puck in, cause chaos, and then smash one in, as opposed to this, let's try a 2-on-1, 2-on-2. I guess, simplified. I've noticed this. They did this on their power play about 5 minutes ago. They started to get a little bit too individualistic. Even Connor McDavid, and he did the awesome play earlier in the game, but McDavid tried to go around 3 people. Draisaitl's trying to go around 2 guys. It's like, guys, let's just simplify things a little bit here. And I think it'd be time here to put Draisaitl and McDavid together like they like to do in times of urgency. All right, when there's the UFC. And another thing, Bobrovsky's making big saves. See, they just had a 2-on-1. But the defenseman blocked it. But the Oilers just, once again, they got too cute, faster and less cute, like Lou, less cute. Lou Gamblu in the house with us. We got NHL hockey, college baseball, and the UFC. Big weekend for you, Lou. A lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, this is a busy time of the year. I'm kind of smacking over the less cute comment, but I suppose if the shoe fits, you gotta wear it.
Yeah. Well, we look similar, so I can't say, well, there's a big difference in us here, Lou. But we're not here to be cute. But I'm just saying the Oilers just need to start firing the puck at the net a little bit more. So 4-3 right now. We're about 8.5 minutes left here. I mentioned the College Baseball World Series, Lou. All hell broke loose last week in the regionals. 9 of the 13 SEC teams ended up getting bounced from the tournament. And, the West Coast actually did pretty well. We got quite a few West Coast programs that are still balling right now. Coastal Carolina, Lou, middle of the mid 5 right now. So we're going to the bottom of the 5th. Coastal are up 6-2 on Auburn right now. Minus 650 on the money line. This Coastal Carolina team is pretty good.
Coastal's a team I released for the regional. As much because Coastal's been there before, they've won a College World Series in the last 10, 12 years. But as much because I don't know that Auburn in the SEC was as strong as all 3 teams on that other side of the bracket, LSU, Arkansas, Tennessee.
Yeah, right now, Lou, and I like this LSU team coming into this tournament. They were plus 650. If I had to take one team still right now, that's who I'm standing with, the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, I see that. Of the SEC teams, I believe they're situated the best. The issue is that one of those, all 3 of those teams are in the same section of the bracket, quarter of the bracket. So only one of those teams moves ahead into the semifinals in Omaha. Be that as it may, I think you got to look hard at North Carolina after what they did to my alma mater today, Arizona. They just completely blew the barn doors off of them. That's a team that can pitch and hit. And what's really important, just like in hockey, is the process. And the process is sometimes you get to Omaha, and the first time you get there, you're wide-eyed and you're seeing the statues, and everybody's just so happy to be there. They forget there's a baseball tournament to play. Well, there's 3 teams in these supers that played in Omaha last year. North Carolina, which I think that's another reason you got to consider them real hard. Florida State, who lost today in the 10th inning, and then the last one, Tennessee, who plays in Arkansas tomorrow. And an Arkansas team heavily favored, but that has lost at home the last 2 years trying to get to the College World Series. I'm not convinced of Mr. Arkansas, and I do like Mr. Tennessee quite a bit. Last year's College World Series champion. So that's going to be a really excellent series, Tennessee, Arkansas, that will be on tomorrow.
Great, awesome game. Well, we got another bell tolling right now. We're hitting the 5-minute mark. It's about 5:30 left in this game, so it's starting to get real here. And you have to wonder, too, especially in a modern NHL, how analytical is Knobloch going to get with this? When is he going to pull the goalie? Coaches are different, Lou. To me, in this situation is always different. It's like if you go for 2 or not. It's not like, to me, it's not set in stone when I pull the goalie. But in a game like this, you're at the 5-minute mark. I would wait till like 2 minutes, basically. I'd give it another 3 full minutes. I'd wait till like the 2-minute mark, and then a little under 2 minutes. Then I'd pull the trigger. Some of these coaches get crazy, though, Lou, and pull a goalie with like 3.5 minutes left.
I was going to say, Gabriel, you're pretty old school because I think hey, listen, I'm down. What's the worst they can do is get the empty netter, okay? But I say more like 3.5. I would be aggressive. I'm trying to go out there and make something happen, especially with the firepower that Edmonton has. Arguably, that's their advantage. Why not try and flex into it? But it'll be interesting to see what Knobloch does. Every move he's made this postseason has been pretty much right, eh, Gabe?
For the most part, except challenging the goal in game 1, which didn't matter in the end. They ended up winning the game, but I thought it was a little too early to challenge that goal. So 4:34 left right now. All right, Lou, we got UFC 316. How's your portfolio look for this card, Lou? When you looked at all the numbers and now that you've seen everything, are you like, all right, are you salivating for this card? Is it a good betting card in your opinion?
I am, Gabe. And when we get on the other side, what we'll talk about is how important the points are in this fight card for several reasons.
And you know what? A lot of sports books are starting to add this. Lou has been betting this for a while. The handicap, you get points. DraftKings and FanDuel had it, but now a lot of other books have that option as well.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple 18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Oh, it's getting real now. We're at the 340 mark. 4-3 for the Florida Panthers. Man, I went big on Edmonton tonight. Although I went big on Edmonton in game 1 too. So when you bet in these playoff series, when you're a better, Lou, actually, it's true. It's a lot like being a player on a team. People get emotional in the playoffs. It feels like when you win, you're going to win the championship. When you lose, where the fans think they're done all the time. It sounds cliche, but it really is a marathon, not a sprint, right? So I've been riding the Oilers. Hell, they're 13-2 in their last 15 games, right? They're not going to win every game, right? We still have a chance to tie it, 3 minutes left, but that's the way I approach this. But been a hell of a Stanley Cup, I tell you.
No question about it. Listen, one of the favorite tricks of savvy handicappers is to bet the team that loses after game one. It's a 7-game series. No one says that the goal is to sweep the other team. The goal is to get 4 wins before the other team. And so for that reason, I read whatever you're saying there. I totally agree with it.
So let's get into the UFC. And Harrison and Pena have been talking smack for a long time now. It seems like for months. Every press conference, it seems like they're there. And Pena, say what you will, like she's got like ice in her veins, right? She's pulled off big upsets before. She's always underestimated. And Harrison is sort of the new killer, right? You know, I mean, her physique freaks people out. She looks like a monster, and oh my God, how is anyone going to beat this woman? But she hasn't like pulverized people in the octagon, Lou. So talk to me about this. And you said you think this is a card where the spread really comes into play a lot with these fights.
Yeah, it does, Gabriel. Kayla Harrison is a freak athlete. She's strong and a vice grip wrestler. She trains. Let's just also say in judo, she won the gold medal in the Olympics twice, not just once. She trains with 155-pound Dagestani men. However, all her competition was at 145, 55, and 60. In order for her to make 135, on the scale today, she looked drawn, and it's hard for her to do. She's not going to do it long, but the UFC dynamically needs some injection of excitement into the women's bantamweight division, so they bring Harrison in. If she wins this fight, we got Nunez coming off the bench, and now they get a little bit of shine off of that fight. The only problem is Pena feels overlooked. She's the former champ and actually an interim champ into this fight. But Pena's mean. She's experienced. She's game. She feels disrespected. And I think the cut compromises Kayla Harrison enough so that if Pena can weather the first 2 rounds, this fight starts to turn her way as it gets late because Harrison will not be able to finish her. Therefore, if it's going to be a decision, and I believe it is going to be, I love that over 4.5 at plus 160, 170 or so. If you want to take fight goes to decision, you can do it that way. I also like the points with Juliana Pena. I think that in those later rounds, she can come back and win a round or 2. If she loses 3 rounds to 2, Harrison gets her hand raised, but Pena takes the money on the points. So that's really how I'm looking at it. I do believe it goes to decision. And when it does go to decision, let's understand when we watch UFC fights, sometimes we see decisions make no sense. It happens more often than we want. However, of the commissions, of the state fight commissions in the United States that are more apt to have dubious decisions, number 1 on the list has always been New Jersey. And I'm not here to downgrade anything about New Jersey except the corruptness of their state fight commission. The umbilical that the UFC and that mixed martial arts have to live by state is the boxing or the fight commission, who has umbilicals all the way back to boxing. And that's where everything gets haywire, because not only are the boxing people in each state commission sometimes dubiously placed, and I'm saying that nice, but they surely don't know anything about mixed martial arts.
I agree with you, Lou. And I thought New York, too, especially in the first couple of cards, was all the old boxing dudes. Texas is usually can be weird.
And Florida. You're exactly right.
All right, hang in here, Lou. We'll hit a couple of more fights, and we'll get Rob Vino in here, but I want to get Lou's take on O'Malley and some of the prelim fights that he likes. Freak Show continues.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Level 2 has begun. This is Sports Rage. I am Gabriel Morency, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM Channel 159. 30 seconds left in the hockey game. Panthers just iced the puck. Panthers are a very patient and experienced team. We talk about it a lot. A lot of Yahoo nutjob teams just blast the puck down the ice all the time, and they try to score the empty net, and they end up icing the puck all the time. The Panthers, a couple of times, instead of going for the empty net, they're just flicking the puck down to the other end, and it's eating 15, 20 seconds up. So they've done a good job at this. The Oilers down to their last. This is it. There's 20 seconds left. They're battling for the puck. They got the puck at the point. You can't make this up. They score! The Edmonton Oilers just tied it with 17.8 seconds left. The magic continues. And you recall, everybody, I told you, we bet plus 240. This game goes to overtime. Boom! Well, there's 17 seconds left, Lou. God knows in this series, someone might score with 17 seconds left. It happens again. Draisaitl, 17 seconds left.
I told you it would take the wind out of Florida's sails. Wow, what a kick in the groin.
Oh, no, was it no, my bad. I see, was it not Draisaitl? Did it hit someone in front? No, it was Perry. It's Corey Perry. My apologies, Corey Perry. Corey Perry. The old dude with 17 seconds left. I swear, Lou, I didn't give up hope even with 24 seconds left. I was like, all right, this is it. It's the last hurrah. I really a lot of people are like, oh, it's done. I'm like, no, it's not done. You're down to your last 2 plays here. But there was a play, Lou, where they kind of got a soft shot off in the slot. And I was about to say, but I couldn't get it out in time. I was about to say, oh, that's it. That was their chance. And it was kind of a soft shot in the slot, traffic everywhere. And the puck just sort of bounced around weird, and Perry kind of swatted at it, right? It was a weird goal. Not set up. It wasn't a tic-tac-toe goal, guys. It was just a chaos goal. Puck bouncing around, and Perry swats at it. You know what I mean? It goes in. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Even Marchand, like you said, Lou, looks a little rattled right now. His face is all red, Lou.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all the momentum's on Edmonton now. This will be what a great over. I can't wait to watch overtime.
Unbelievable stuff. All right. We got Rob Vino in the wings, but Rob likes to win money. And hell, Rob even will tail Mick Aussie's AFL pick. So Rob's going to get a Sharpie right now when he's start talking UFC. For those of you just joining us, Lou just said he likes Juliana Pena, the Venezuelan vixen, plus 5.5 and over 4.5 rounds, but plus 5.5 on the handicap. What about the O'Malley and Merab fight, Lou? What's your take on that one?
I really like that O'Malley understood after the first fight how he had underestimated Merab's strength, his wrestling, his approach, his dedication to the sport. O'Malley went back to the lab. Here's what I guarantee. We're going to get O'Malley's best effort in this fight. And here's another thing I guarantee, that those advantages that he has, youth, height, reach, his ability to move, those are still advantages for him, as well as, I believe, fight IQ. If Merab overlooks O'Malley in the slightest. I mean, here's a guy, Gabe, that dove headfirst into into a lake in January and busted open his head. O'Malley will be the smarter fighter. He's coming focused. I believe this is another point type of a play, and that's because Merab is from New York, Long Island. He trains at Longo. These fights are in Newark. Let's understand where the geography lies. But O'Malley plus the 5.5 points, I love it, and I don't have a problem, because if O'Malley wins, it's most likely because he catches him. So O'Malley by KO would be a great idea too.
As Lou brought up O'Malley changing his camp and his approach a little bit, I brought it up last night, Lou. He did two things. One of them I could do, the other one I wouldn't want to do. But he quit Instagram, and he stopped smoking weed before this fight. So I could quit Instagram. I'm not sure about, the other one, Lou. But so O'Malley, but it sort of shows that he sort of got it. Like, all right, I was becoming kind of a jackass online. I'm a fighter. I want to be a champion. I don't want to be a guy with my pink car on Instagram only, known as, you know what I mean? So he shut the account. He's like, yeah, I logged off. I shut it down. And he goes, I haven't smoked weed during this training camp for this fight. Sounds like, to some people, but it's showing, you know what I mean? His realizing, you know what? I can't just party all the time and do these videos while I'm smoking weed and training at the same time. What if I'm going to beat a top fighter like Merab, who's a true pro? These dudes are true pros. Like, that's just a cold world, Lou. But what about the prelims? Because we got to get you out of here. We got a couple minutes. What about the prelims? Any other fights? Gastelum's fighting again against Pfeiffer. But what about anyone else on the prelim card?
Gastelum Pfeiffer goes to decision. That's about an even money fight. Patchy Mix flapping his jaws, a newcomer into the UFC, taking on Bautista. I'd really like Bautista, except Patchy Mix from Buffalo. These fights are in Newark. It's probably a decision, going to be a tough one for Bautista to win. And then lastly, I do like Sergey Spivak against Cortez Acosta in the undercard. Those are heavyweights. Cortez Acosta is furious and mean and fast and powerful for 5 minutes. If Spivak, who's slower than evolution, can take this fight to the second round, he's got great advantage.
Lou, Gamblu.com. Awesome stuff, Lou. Always love catching up with you. Let's do it again next week. Where can people find you online?
Catch me at Gamblu.com. I appreciate you having me in tonight, Gabriel, and Rob. Sorry I spoke so long.
That's all good, Lou. It's all good. There's Gamblu. Lou in the house. Let's bring in Mr. Rob Vino. Rob understands. We got to cover all the bases on this show. No show touches as many sports as we do. So there's some UFC 316 talk. We hit it last night as well on the show. Let's bring in Rob Vino right now. Rob, I know you're not the biggest hockey guy, but Stanley Cup Finals, and as an over-better, I was actually going to tell you too, but I got caught up in stuff. I was going to tell you, because you and I talk overs a lot, I was going to say the hockey game's going to go over again. I don't know if you saw I posted my picks online and stuff, but pretty wild. Here we are. The total was 6, Rob. We're going to overtime, tied at 4 right now. Edmonton scores with 17 seconds left. Unbelievable.
crazy. I signed in just in time to get your reaction there, Gabe, to that goal with 17 seconds left. Nothing better than overtime hockey. This series has been really good so far. I actually had, as part of a parlay tonight, Florida on the puck line +1.5. So you can't really blow that anymore, even with overtime. So we're good there. But yeah, as a guy who doesn't cover it for clients and for the business, I do watch the Stanley Cup playoffs because, again, it's probably nothing better than overtime hockey in the Stanley Cup, or even in the NHL playoffs. Forget just the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, it really is. It's tough to top. But yeah, I think it's the toughest trophy in sport. That's the saying, right? The toughest trophy in sports to win. And I would have a hard time disagreeing with it. You know, the Super Bowl, you get home field advantage. You play 2 games, you go to the Super Bowl, right? And this is like relentless. You play 82 games in a regular season. Hockey, you're dodging pucks that are coming 100 miles an hour. You're getting smashed face first into the glass all the time. Then you in 4 to 7 series.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Shout out to everybody joining us right now, whatever platform you are. SiriusXM channel 159, SportsGrid television, SportsGrid radio, various apps, Sling TV, Roku, etc. I was watching the network on Roku earlier today. And, I do a lot of shows. A lot of hosts don't watch other people's stuff, or they're in their own little world or this or that. But I was actually watching the Grid today, and I learned a lot of stuff. Very good stuff. The daily racing forum has a show on our network. Rob, nothing wrong with that, right? Like,
No, nothing wrong with
I was
that.
like, hey, these two really know what they're talking about. They were banging off this and that. I was like, yeah, this is good stuff. And Smiley Kaufman's golf show with the Canadian Open, and he's got PGA golfers on. So I actually watched. I was watching on Roku today. I'll watch online, but when I'm watching on TV, if I want to see our network on TV, I watch it on Roku. You can too. So we're going to overtime, guys. Wow. I called it. I said, I felt like, Rob, I said it like we came on pretty much like as the second period was ending. And I told everybody, I said, it feels like it's going to overtime again. Yeah, 17 seconds left in the game. I could say never in doubt, but it ends up getting there, fortunately. Now I got to get the Oilers home. Yet, as much as I love the CFL, and as much as I killed the CFL last year, it's a little bit of a stumble out of the gate. And I'm a little mad at myself, Rob, because I knew Toronto were going to have problems. I don't know if you saw my bet. I put it out there. I put like 1,200 on the Argos under 11.5 wins. I couldn't believe Bet365 had under 11.5. They're 10.5 in a lot of spots. Now they got to go 12-5, as if, Rob, the Argos are going 12-5 in the next 17 games. But I got suckered in a little bit with the total. And then even the plus 6.5, I thought, this is kind of high. Give me the Argos on a teaser at plus 13.5. But there was all the concern, Rob, about the Argo new defensive front, and they did get lit up a lot, but it was the offense that was terrible, and that big drop pass late, bro. There was a big bomb late after they scored a touchdown. It really would have made a difference, but disappointing bet for me, but on to tomorrow, Rob, in the CFL.
Yeah, for me, the disappointment was last night, Gabe. I had Ottawa +3, blow an extra point after a touchdown in the second half, then have to go for 2 and don't get that extra point, and wind up losing by 5. So could have pushed my way out of that, but wound up with a couple of bad extra points there to lose that one. But did come back to that. I'm with you. A couple of things real quick that you said that I thought of myself. When I saw that total, it just looked high, but it kept going up. And I'm like, what are people seeing that I'm not seeing? I restrained myself to only bet the Montreal team total over, thinking that, again, like you said, Toronto was going to have a few defensive problems here. Montreal's offense was pretty much all coming back. Tyson Philpott, touchdown pass in the first quarter that they missed with him, maybe a second one that was missed by Davis Alexander. But they did the right thing in the end, because you got to love 2-down football, Gabe, because it gives you the opportunity at the end of the game to kick a meaningless field goal and get yourself up and over 26.5 points. So that was a win for me tonight.
And, you got the gratuitous pick 6, Arbuckle, like throwing the ball up. So, all right, so we got 1 over, 1 under so far. And the 1-1 with favorites and underdogs, actually. Right? The Rough Riders covered last night as a favorite. Alouettes covers, so we're 2-0 as favorites now. 2-0 as favorites now, 1-1 with the totals. On to tomorrow, Rob. The odds makers put that big 52.5 up on the board for the Stamps and the Ticats. I tell you, in the CFL media world, people are talking about Bo Levi Mitchell this and the Ticats offense that. And it is pretty scary. Calgary, Rob, I saw Dickinson say earlier in the week that they might have 12 new starters on defense start the game as opposed to last year. I like what I saw in the preseason. I like the offense. Actually, I'm more bullish on Calgary than a lot of people are. But that's why the total is 52.5. People are expecting a chalk meet here, Rob.
Yeah, and it didn't scare me away, Gabe. I played it. It probably should have gotten to these 2 totals that we're going to talk about for tomorrow earlier than I did, because I paid a little bit more of a price than I had to. But I do think that the early game, Hamilton-Calgary probably gets over. Like you say, the quarterbacks on both sides, the receiving crews on both sides are really good, right? You reunite Dominique Grimes with Vernon Adams on one side and Kenny Lawler now on the other side with Calgary. So, it's a game where you can see the teams moving through the air pretty easily. Calgary's defense, 12 new guys, and I probably read a lot of the same stuff. I just don't know how you could be cohesive right off the bat against the Hamilton offense, especially through the air. Both of these teams, they were like the 2 worst total defense teams in the league last year, second to last, 382 yards, 383 yards a game. I could see it getting up and over that number.
And then the nightcap, a game that I will be at, Rob. We get a concert before the game too. Snoop Dogg. BC Lions are big on having rappers before their games. 3 years ago when they started, they had a new owner come in 3 years ago, and he brought in LL Cool J to open up the season. And then last year he got 50 Cent to open up the season. This year he raised it up a notch and got Snoop Dogg to open up the season. It helps fill the stadium up, Rob. They sold it out. 54,000 people will be in attendance tomorrow night. And speaking of a lot of new faces, this Edmonton Elk team has a lot of new faces, a new coach. I know the Lions have a new coach with Buck Pierce, but he's been an OC before. He's a longtime quarterback. He's been in the league forever. Edmonton's head coaching hire was a little weird. It was the Calgary Stampeders special teams coach that got fired like 2 years ago. Like he's one of these he's like a CFL lifer, special teams lifer. Like he's never been a linebacker coach. He wasn't the OC. He wasn't a DC. He was always the special teams guy. Now he's the head coach of Edmonton. I like Trey Ford to make some plays, but I think BC is going to put some points up on the board tomorrow, Rob.
Can't disagree. I wish I had gotten there at 48 before it got to this 49 and a half now, but I still think it's doable on each side here. Again, the quarterback play should be good on each. Gabe, was that right? It's funny to me, and I know we're short on time here, but it's funny to me that I read articles, such and such team has 11 Canadian players. Oh my God. This team has 4 American offensive linemen. Oh my God. It's kind of crazy to read that about football.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Well, this is pretty wild. Here we go. 2 hockey games, 2 overtime games. And it looked like we are going to go to double overtime the other night, but Edmonton scored late. We said it, I say it all the time, but for people like, if you're not full hockey guy, overtime, they usually score really quickly in overtime or not at all. Like it's one of these weird, like in the playoffs like this, there's sort of like little minutes, like The thing is, the ice is faster, and it makes a big difference, guys. Like the casual fan probably doesn't think of this stuff, but like the first minute of the ice, it's a clean sheet of ice. It's fast, right? They just cleaned it, and you'll see the puck, so you can pass it fast, you can skate fast. Everything's just faster. As the period goes on, even though they fixed the ice in between the commercial breaks, as the period goes on, the puck will act more erratically. There'll be little divots in the ice due to the skates. Players will purposely start shoveling snow and moving snow around, like and stuff in spots that they want the puck to slow down. I was a goalie. I used to sprinkle snow in certain spots, like when the ref wasn't looking. There's all kinds of little things going on here. So the first 4 or 5 minutes, the ice is fast. Then it'll start to slow down. Once they get to about the 8 to 10 minute mark, it starts to become like, hey, don't make a mistake, eh? Like, you know what I mean? If we do, we'll go to double overtime. So we'll keep our eye on this. We're at the 16:28 mark right now, so we're about 3.5 minutes into overtime. Rob Vino in the house with us. Rob, the Stanley Cup Finals have been awesome, and the NBA Finals were pretty awesome last night. Rob, these Pacer games, the same thing happened a couple of times against the Knicks, where it's like, yeah, they're not going to win, but maybe they can cover the point spread. Maybe they can backdoor it. You know what I mean? They're down by 16 with 3 minutes left, or down by 12 with 2 minutes left. This Pacer team all the time. And then they win the freaking game outright all the time, Rob. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's the old saying, Gabe, you can't let them hang around. And Oklahoma City let them hang around. And even by hang around, we're talking 14, 15 points when you have the opportunity to be up 20 plus, which OKC did multiple times last night. You can't force 24 turnovers, only commit 6, have 14 steals. The other side only has 1. But Oklahoma City got crushed on the boards. They didn't shoot it well. They got 98 shots up last night. 98's an amazing amount of shots to get in one game without overtime. But they only shot 39.8 from the floor. And that is just enough to keep Indiana in it until they finally hit a spurt where they were scoring like crazy. And next thing you know, you're losing to a Tyrese Halliburton jumper again. We've seen it over and over in these playoffs. And this game, too, real quick before I end this, I'll tell you this. I looked it up today. 3 game 2s played by Indiana so far in these playoffs. One was at home against Milwaukee. The other 2 were on the road. But they've won game 1 in every series. Against Milwaukee, they came right back and won game 2. That was at home okay. Against Cleveland, not only did they beat them once at home, they beat them twice. Against the Knicks, not only did they beat them home once, they beat them twice. To think that OKC is just going to roll here might be wrong until you look at OKC's game 2s and realize that all 3 have been on their floor and all 3 have been blowouts by 15 or more. And I guess the comp game would be Denver. You know, Denver walked into Oklahoma City and stole game 1 on an Aaron Gordon 3, much the way Indiana did to him last night. Game 2, OKC came back and won by 46. So can make pretty good cases for each side here, but I just think it's interesting, their game 2 performances.
Yeah, you really can, Robert. I've noticed the same thing, too. And you look at the Pacers, big pattern. I actually called it, against the Knicks. When they beat the Knicks in the first game, everybody was betting, everyone, on the air and everyone talking, the Knicks will bounce back game 2. I said, no, I wouldn't be surprised if the Pacers actually won again, and then the Knicks will win in Indianapolis in game 3. And that's what the Cavaliers did to them as well, Rob.
Yep.
Same thing, exactly. Right? So, and I knew this, Rob, so what do you do here? It's interesting. Indy was getting blown out. They win the game outright. And the odds makers come back and make the spread even higher. It's 11 right now. The total's lighter at 228 right now. So what about the point spread at 11? You made a compelling argument. And as you stated, Oklahoma City, it always looked like, they're going to go on that little run. It'll be up by 26. It'll be game over. It was like tug of war. Indy never, Topper would hit a 3 all the time to cut it from 13 back to 10. Right? It was always that, no, we're not fully going away. Oklahoma City going to be looking for the knockout punch. I got to go with the Pacers again, Rob. I was on the Pacers plus the points last night. I got to go back to the window with this.
Yeah, I couldn't argue anybody off of it, Gabe. Obviously, the odds makers know the zigzag theory is going to be played, so they make the price 11. But you would think Oklahoma City early because they're mad. First quarter, odds makers padded it. It's like 4.5. First half, odds makers padded it. Oklahoma City's 8. I think OKC team total is the way to go real quick here, up and over 119.5.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Always seems like a better idea to bet big money on a game before the game, man. Now you got to sweat it out in overtime. Hockey is like, all sports are stressful, but like hockey's really stressful. Like, there's something about it. Like, not that we have control of any sport. Baseball, you can breathe. The pitcher steps off the mound, even at the bottom of the ninth, World Series or whatever. Football, okay, first down. Then you second down, and there's sort of there's a method to it, right? The hockey is just all out reactionary, crazy, puck bouncing around everywhere. Oh my God. There's always like a scoring chance every like 5-10 seconds. It pops up like, oh my God, the puck is like now. So like Edmonton just had it. Now suddenly the puck is at Edmonton's corner. Like every 20 seconds, it just changes of danger zones for, oh my God, they just turned it over, as I stated. Oh my God. They just turned it over. The Oilers, like I said, it was that fast. Like the Oilers just turned it over in the corner of their zone. Panthers flicked it in front of the net. Buddy sort of just slid it along the side of the ice. I was about to say, what a save by Skinner. It went underneath Skinner and hit the goalpost and somehow didn't go in. Like that's one of those one in them. Like I don't know how the puck didn't go in the net there. It literally like went underneath Skinner, hit the goalpost, and then Buddy on the Oilers scooped it off the goal line, like and nothing happened. Oh, get rid of that! Like dear God, right on cue, Rob. I was talking about how crazy this stuff can be. Wow! But I swear that's almost like hockey karma because the Oilers have had that happen like 3 times in this series, where literally it's like, how did that not go in? Like the puck would bounce along the goal line and not roll in. But the Oilers right now, the Panthers are all over the Oilers right now. Like the Oilers cannot get the puck out of their zone. Like this is really pretty crazy, actually. It's been like 2 minutes right now of constant, like a minute and a half here, constant pressure. Finally, the Oilers get it out of their zone, but just barely. Okay, Rob, man, what a time of year right now, huh? So this is going on. CFL is back. We hit the CFL games. So you like the over tomorrow? Just quickly, do you think BC rolls Edmonton tomorrow? Do you think you're going to lay the points, or are you just going to bet the total and some team totals?
Yeah, I think I'll bet that total, full game total, maybe even the first half total. We'll see. I'm a little bit leery of first half totals, teams in their first game, but those two teams should be able to put up points. So I'll probably stick to that.
And so, what about the total of the NBA game? Quickly on that, Rob. It's down to It's 228 right now. Didn't get there in game one. I did bet an over 218.5 that I luckily hit. What do we do with the total in game two on Sunday? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I tell you, I narrowed it down early. This is still early because we have so much time to wait before the tip-off.
Confused.
Yeah,
Sorry.
3 days. No travel, 3 days off. It's crazy. I took Oklahoma City team total over 119.5 already. I wouldn't argue anybody off of Indiana over 108.5 seems even better, right? If you add those two together, obviously mathematics tells you probably get over 228. I just like the way the second half opened up for both of these teams. Like I say, first half looked like a lot of jitters. OKC didn't shoot good. Indiana didn't play well. I'd say probably full game over, but I like the OKC team total over.
Birmingham Stallions host the Michigan Panthers Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock Eastern. Total is 46. And then we get the DC Defenders and the Battlehawks. So the NBA game is Sunday night. I'm all confused with hockey and basketball, and I'm stressing out about this game. But so, yeah, Sunday night we got the NBA game. Sunday afternoon, Michigan and Birmingham right into DC Defenders into the NBA Finals. Rob, so it's Birmingham -1, -120 money line, total 46. Battlehawks -140 against the DC Defenders. You know who I'm taking in that one. It ain't the Defenders, Rob. Give me the Battlehawks on their home field. What do you like in the UFL?
Well, I definitely like the Michigan-Birmingham over. We just saw that game 2 weeks ago in Birmingham. Game went 48, had almost 700 total yards. Birmingham's last 4 games, real quick, Gabe, the totals have landed on 55, 48, 57, and 58. Jamar Smith, Skip Holtz has got that offense humming right now. And Michigan has maybe the best offensive line in the league. So I like that thing over. And the other game, I like St. Louis as well. I just think the ground game is going to be too tough for DC. We've talked about it a lot, just to try and be brief here, how ever since Greg Williams left, the Sun hasn't really got that defense to apply pressure to opposing quarterbacks the way that they did before. It's really the only thing they hang their hat on defensively is pressure, pressure, pressure. When they don't have it, they give up a lot of points, a lot of yards. I trust Tamu on DC as the quarterback between the 20s. Don't trust him to get into the end zone. So probably go with Max Duggan and the St. Louis Battlehawks at home.
Former TCU Horned Frog quarterback beat the Michigan Wolverines. That's the quarterback of the Battlehawks right now. For those of you tuning in, some college football fans. Skinner, unbelievable saves. Like we just talked about the miracle that went under his leg. Like I don't know what street this arena is on in Edmonton. I think it's White Avenue maybe or something like that. But whatever street it's on, that was the miracle on Main Street or whatever street it's called, Rob. Like if they win the game, like that'll look back on that was the turning point where the hockey god said we're gonna win. Because God, that puck should have went in the net. Rob, we'll get you out of here. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know you like to bet on the ponies as well. Anything for the Belmont yet? I really haven't jumped in yet on it. And it's ironic because I was betting some horses today at Saratoga, which is dangerous to do during the day. I shouldn't have been doing it. But I did. So, ironically enough, it's not like I'm a poser about Belmont. No, I was actually betting the whatever the hell stakes today they had out there. But anything for the Belmont for you tomorrow?
I'll be quite honest. I will bet it, but I have other people guide me. So I can't give any guidance to who I'll be on at this point in time until I talk to some people tomorrow. And I just take other people's advice on this stuff.
You know, for me, Rob, I don't know, post time's like 6:20 Eastern or something tomorrow.
Yeah.
That might as well be 6 days from now in the sports betting world. You know, I got this all the time. Dodgers are losing 4-0. CFL game, Snoop Dogg tomorrow. So yeah, Belmont, around 4 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow, guys. I'll lock it in. Like Rob Vino. Rob, always good, my man. Thanks, Rob. WagerTalk.com. Rob Vino, Sports on X. Thanks, Rob. There's Rob Vino. All right, man, this hockey game is stressful and crazy. All right, we go from Rob Vino to one of Rob's colleagues, Tony Finn, in the house with us. What's up, Tony?
Just listening to you and Rob for a little while about the craziness that is, I think, sports right now. I mean, in baseball, the NBA, that was a shocking finish, I thought, but it speaks volumes to who this Oklahoma City team is. They're still young. They've looked this way. They've kind of frozen a little bit late in games in earlier series in this year's tournament. So I think they respond pretty well, and they do win the first half significantly. Fortunately for me, Gabe, I was on Oklahoma City first half only. I wasn't on for game because I didn't want to lay that kind of number. I had to lay 5.5. Was happy to lay 5.5, but I missed my 4-leg same game parlay. Why? Because they lost the game straight up, which we both know the books made out last night. By the way, on that Oklahoma City loss.
It is true. The one thing I've been saying, Tony, why I think the Pacers can beat them actually is the Pacers are more experienced. Siakam's won a championship before. Miles Turner's been in the league forever. Carlisle's won a been in multiple finals, etc. They got vets, right? They've got guys. Oklahoma City are younger players, but I don't really think it's so much the experience, Tony, or the youth, but something that we talk about, sort of like Gonzaga, bro. Oklahoma City win by 46 every night. They're not used to playing in close games. When you just said they kind of tighten up in close games, they haven't played in a lot of close games this year. They literally haven't.
Right.
On the road, they will once in a while, but for the most part, they have one of the highest margin of victories in NBA history, guys. So they're not used to playing in these tight, high pressure games. The Pacers are, right? Pacers have been playing these big games for years right now. We'll hit it more on the other side. 7 minutes left in overtime.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
We got one of the greatest hockey games ever, best Stanley Cups ever. I've been watching this stuff since the early 70s. And Tony Finn's talking to me about his baseball parlays during the break here, about the Texas Rangers screwing him tonight. He's like, yeah, the hockey. He's like, yeah, Texas Rangers gave up 3 runs tonight. So Tony's in baseball mode and basketball mode. And I'm in hockey mode, but we're in everything mode. I can split my mind in a million places, but 5 minutes left in overtime right now, guys. The Panthers have had much better chances in overtime. Like the Oilers are lucky they haven't lost this game in overtime. Let's call it out for what it is. There was a miracle, like the puck that didn't go in that I talked about under Skinner's pad. Skinner has been unbelievable in this overtime. Oh, the Oilers are, oh my God. Oh God, here it is. There's a breakaway for Florida. Big save, Skinner again. Edmonton, you're playing with fire right now. You guys, it's like you're playing with a dirty needle that you found on the street. You guys are like going to hurt yourself very soon, Edmonton. Like Florida, if not for Skinner, this game's over. It's funny. Oh, I don't trust Skinner. Skinner's like looking better than Grant Fuhr ever did right now. This is wild stuff. 4-4, 4:14 left at overtime. The crowd is giving Skinner his flowers right now. Wild stuff at Edmonton. Wow, breakaway. Unbelievable. Man, I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. And don't forget, Skinner gave up a breakaway goal to Marchand in the second period, too. So I was worried about the breakaway aspect of this. So NBA Finals. Tony, I brought it up. I'm going to say Indy beats them. I think Indy's experience will come through. They already stole one on the road. The only thing is, Indy, like me and Rob were talking about it, you've seen what the Pacers, they've won the first 2 games in every series. They've lost game 3 twice. Yeah. Right? They win on the road. They beat Cleveland on the road twice. They go home, they lose. They go to MSG. They beat the Knicks twice. They go home and lose game 3.
Yes.
So, we've seen this before, but so where I'm going with this, I want to take the Pacers plus 265. They're plus 265 right now to win the title. Yeah. They probably don't win on Sunday night, though. So then why not just wait and I'll get like plus 400 or whatever the hell it is after, right? Like after they lose on Sunday night.
Yeah, if they lose Sunday night, and much of the plus money on the Pacers for the series after Sunday night's game is how they lose too. And I'm not one. I'm one of those that would come right back and be contrary to you. And I'd say, listen, I said I was talking to Las Vegas Chris. He stopped by today, stopped by the studio, and we talked a little bit about it. And he said that Oklahoma City at minus 280, 290 was an automatic play. And of course, I'm seeing minus 320. So I didn't look it up at that time, but I'm seeing minus 320. If you can get
I don't see this. I don't see them as an auto. Oh my God. I don't know how the puck went in again for Florida. Like Edmonton, I'm telling you right now, guys, Edmonton's going to win this game just because this is the way hockey works. The team that always dominates in overtime gets screwed and ends up losing. And I'm on Edmonton, and Florida are dominating. Like, I don't know how the hell that didn't go in a second ago. Like, seriously, the Edmonton Oilers are literally like dancing on the Golden Gate Bridge drunk right now. And there's 2:52 left in overtime. So, Tony Finn, Wager Talking House with us in Las Vegas, Nevada. Tony, what do you think about the total at 228? It was 231 in game 1. It came down to 230. Now it's bouncing around. It was 227.5. I see it 228 right now. People are probably going to buy back in on the over again. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, if you looked at how the first half of that game 1 started, I thought there was some nerves. I thought there was a bunch of poor decisions made in the first half.
No, you're right. They only scored like a 49 combined points in the first. You're right. And they still got 221 or whatever.
That's correct. And they did. And I imagine that you're going to see Oklahoma City shoot better than 37% from the floor overall. And I think you're going to see them attack the rim. They're the best at the rim, best defending the rim, and that's what's going to happen. I like Holmgren. I like him to play a little more than he played in game 1. I like him to have more than one block. And there was a lot of things I saw happen in game 1 that I do not believe will repeat themselves. One of them is that you're going to see Oklahoma City, what they did. Listen, in the series against Denver, in the series, most series in the third quarter, the opposing coach is outcoached. I don't think Carlisle gets outcoached necessarily by Dogma, but I'll say this: at home, you're going to see a much stronger first quarter and a much stronger third quarter than you saw from Oklahoma City than you did in game 1.
Who Dagno? People have a real hard time with that coach's name. That's why the people.
Dogma.
Yeah. You would have a hard time with hockey names, Tony. There's a lot of Dagnos in there.
I told you. Yeah. There's a lot of Roys too. Just simple Roy, right? Not Wall,
yeah, but it's Roy. Waugh.
No,
Waugh.
right.
Patrick Waugh.
Yeah.
Patrick Waugh.
I told
Listen, I don't know what the refs are looking at here, guys. It's tough for me. We have the sound down, obviously. I don't know. Now the scorekeeper's giving them pieces of paper here. What the hell is going on here? Is there some sort of like score? Like when the camera's on Darnell Nurse, now they're showing what the hell is going on here. I can't explain this. I've never seen this. Like they went over to the penalty box and the referees like came back with the score sheet and they're showing it to Knobloch and the Oilers bench right now. And the Oilers are kind of looking kind of like guilty of something. like the Oilers players are kind of all looking away from the ref. Like they're not normally hockey players chirp back all the time. No one was chirping. They were all kind of like just kind of I don't know what you're talking about. Looking the other way. I'll find out in a minute what the hell was going on. But I don't want to blame you, Tony.
How big a picture? Yeah, you can.
I don't
care.
Yeah, maybe I will actually, but seems like the Dodgers always lose on Friday when you come on with us. They win through the week. They lose on Friday night.
You can blame me for that one. I have this is a nice little catch for me. I have St. Louis minus 2.5, minus 3.5, plus 250, plus 370. Yeah.
Last I checked, it was 4-0. What's the score now?
5-0.
Yeah, 5-0 Birds. Top of ninth too. Yeah, this game's coming to an end here. 2 out as well.
Yeah.
5-4 Angels over the Mariners, bottom of the 8th. 5-4 Athletics over the Orioles, bottom of 6th.
Falcons are actually relieved that he's kind of not there to create more of a distraction. Look, I mean, I said it the day it happened. It was one of the stupider decisions I've ever seen by a professional NFL franchise to sign a quarterback to a $180 million contract and then draft his replacement exactly 5 weeks later. This was a terrible organizational decision by the Falcons. Now, they're going to spin this, and this is what's annoying about the Falcons and their PR staff. They're going to spin this as if this is the plan we had all along. This is the plan that when, Kirk Cousins either got hurt or didn't play well or got too old, we were going to have Penix come in. And guess what? The new plan is now we're going to keep Kirk Cousins as a backup. So if Michael Penix gets hurt, we told you so. We were right for keeping him on the roster. We were smart for keeping him here. No, this whole thing has been an abject disaster.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
We got 40 seconds left in the hockey game and about 5.5 minutes left in the Friday Night Freak Show. Great job by Preston tonight stepping up and in. So we've got a roving crew now that Greg Frank has moved to Boise, Idaho. But at least we got a Boise State insider now once football season starts. So 30 seconds left in overtime here. And like a pro wrestler getting beat up, reaching for the ropes, like trying to I touch the ropes and the refs will, stop it. the Oilers are trying to hang on right now, and dear God, the Panthers nearly just scored with like 15 seconds left. Man, the Oilers are going to be lucky. Now they have a 2-on-1 with like 8 seconds left here. The Oilers, shoot the puck, bro. You got nothing to lose. Shoot the puck. You got 4 seconds. Shoot it. Oh, my God. That would have been epic if they would have scored with 4 seconds left. We're going to double overtime. Game 2. You can't top this. You just can't top this. Stanley Cup, next goal wins. That's the way hockey's meant to be. Next goal wins, guys. Everybody's gone through that. Wow, we're tied at 4, going to double overtime, and man, there's a lot on the line here. So Tony Finn with us. So Tony, what's your NBA play for Sunday, and what do you like tomorrow in baseball? Then I got to get to my picks.
Well, I like the first. I was fortunate. I had the first half play in Game 1, -5.5 OKC. They were up by 13 at the end, going into intermission. I like them again. They're going to be focused. And if they're focused and they execute like they can defensively, I like him. I like him in the first half again. And I like him in the third quarter, this game coming out, because I think that, I think this is one of those, that the Game 1's kind of a wake-up call. And this team has responded to games like they had in Game 1. They have. Now, Denver, they struggled a little bit there, but they took the Joker completely off this game and struggle because of what they had to do that. And I'm going to suspect they're going to do more blitzing, of Indiana and a point guard. And obviously, I think that's the key to beating the Pacers, and then getting the ball out of his hand and making someone else, whether it be a wing or the off guard, the number 2, making the play, making the decision of where the ball is going to go in that first, the first 5 seconds after they cross the timeline. You do that, and I think you beat the Pacers.
Tony Finn in the house with us. Tony, Toronto Blue Jays. They're a streaky team, the Blue Jays, but they're playing their best baseball of the season right now, despite the fact they've got some injuries. They've got guys coming back, though. And, all right, they beat the A's, and they had that 5-game win streak. Then they lost the first game to the Phillies. It was like, all right, let's see. Oftentimes the Jays will lose 5 in a row after winning 5 in a row, then end up right at 500 again. But no, they took 2 or 3 from the Phillies. Then they go into Minnesota. They just beat Minnesota tonight. Blue Jays have been cashing some tickets over the last 10 days to 14 days. They got Gossman on the hill here tomorrow against Paddock. Game's a pick 'em, Tony, -110. And one thing with the Dodgers, they're good at bouncing back after they lose and they get shut out and shut down and stuff. Yamamoto coming off of his worst start of the year, Tony, against the Yankees. So Yamamoto's -185 against Fetty tomorrow.
Yeah, I like Yamamoto more. Listen, Fetty's so much better than he was 4 or 5 years ago when he was laughed at, playing in Washington, I suppose, was pitching for Washington. He's a more mature kid and understands his skill set, what he can, what he can't do. But I do like the Dodgers to bounce back from a performance tonight against it. And they've had success against Sonny in the past, But I thought tonight was really a setup. I thought this really set up nicely for the Cardinals for several reasons, and one of them is the kid the Dodgers have them out to. Listen, the Dodgers need to get healthy. Their pitching staff needs to get healthy because things are not easy when you don't have.
They're just trying to buy time.
They need to have. I know.
As Robert stated, he goes, we're trying to buy time, and we're looking at the big picture here, and they're doing a good job of it. But it really is amazing how much the Dodger pitchers get injured all the time. All right, guys, follow me on X. I'll post all my picks. I'll have some videos, but I do love the over, the BC line, Edmonton out game to be at tomorrow. That'll be my best bet. I think there's going to be a ton of points put up on the board. I do think BC covered a 5.5 as well. UFL is on Sunday. I'll post my Belmont picks tomorrow afternoon. We'll have some fun with that. I like the Calgary Stampeders to beat Hamilton tomorrow, and I think that game's going to be a track meet. The total is 52.5. NBA basketball, it's on Sunday. I get it, man. Oh, Oklahoma City are going to be mad and all this. Whatever. Give me the Pacers plus the 11. Give me the Pacers plus the 11.
Hill Road in the Belmont.
Other than that, you're on your own later.